First thing when this book and you're reading it is you don't just jump into, like, a lot of books will, like, here's my book. Like, you have a preface of kind of how you got into that, and you kind of made a guide on, at least I took it that way, how to read the book and how your book is set up. So what kind of, did you have an inspiration behind that, or did you feel like if you didn't include this, the message wasn't going to be there?
Yeah, I felt like I needed to explain it. I needed to explain this whole idea of making love your religion. What does that mean? And I wanted to give people the backstory of this is how I came. This is how the book came to be what it is now. And so yeah, I just wanted to explain that and give a backstory and tell people how I came to be at a point where I could do what I love and to do that full time.
So, for those of you who didn't read your book, what do you say really kicked you into making your book focused on basically what your life is? Because you don't really have one day job, and you basically work for yourself a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, originally I started writing a book that was more so just about religion, and it was kind of like a rant about what my thoughts were about religion and why I felt like it was something that was limiting and something that kind of we needed to do away with as a society. But then over time, over years, it evolved into something that was more about me spreading a message of love and more about me linking the fact that when we do what we love, when we use our God-given talents, that can be looked at as a spiritual act. And when we're doing that we really may not need traditional sense of religion because we're just putting love at the forefront of everything that we're doing or we're trying to, and we're using our God-given talents to do what it is that we love, and that could be a form of religion.
So what really caused, was there one moment or a couple of moments that really made that shift for you to lesser into Christianity and all that thing into what the book is now?
I think just over time, I don't think there was one set thing, but just over time there was me realizing that I wanted to create a book and create a message that was more inclusive, and I didn't want people from any type of religion or Christianity to look at it and say, okay, this is not for me, or this is something that I won't even give a try. So I just figured I'd focus on love, and that would everyone would want to, or hopefully everyone could relate to that.
That makes sense. Have you had anybody be changed by this, or what I guess is your most memorable encounter so far, a review of this book that you kind of weren't expecting?
The fact that you said it could change your life, or so today, right now.
Aside from me, your friend.
I mean, just those type of comments. That's what I always hoped for, and that's what I always wanted. But to hear people say it is very humbling and very inspiring, and it's a little bit of a confidence booster. Like I want to write the next one, and it gives it more of a purpose. Not that it didn't have a purpose before, but it's just very exciting and humbling to hear that people are enjoying it, that people are getting things out of it, that people are applying it. So like that's like,
as you read on to the chapters, they each kind of like intertwine. So you're reading about something, then you kind of go back to something that you read in the previous chapter. How did the order come about?
so I wanted to, like, love of self, I wanted to put that first because a lot of times in westernized religion, we're told to look outside of ourselves. So I wanted to, not from an egoistic standpoint, but I wanted to have people look inside first. And then after you look inside, then you can spread that love to other people. So that's why the love of community chapter comes after that. And then love of knowledge after that. And love of celebrity life, love of money. I wanted to put love of celebrity life before love of money because those are two chapters that if you just hear them, you may think, well, I don't want to be a celebrity or I don't want to idolize money, but those chapters aren't about any of that. But I wanted to make it clear that you can live a celebrity life without money. It's not about having money. It's about your mindset, and it's about knowing that you can live an abundant life in whatever way you feel is abundant to you. So I wanted to make sure I put the love of money before the love of celebrity, and then I wanted to end it with the love of God. So you have a start with self and an end with God, and like really those two things need to work in tandem.
You have this story in here about how you were doing other things that I didn't even know, like you were trying to do an Instagram with, clothing and things like that. And you did say the story about how you thought to just focus on the book. Were there some sacrifices of projects that you had to put to the side that were hard for you to do in coming to the book, or was book just like up here?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they were really hard, but it was, I guess, realizing that I maybe, quote unquote, wasted some time and that was time that I could have been using to put towards the book and towards my writing and my speaking. That was kind of a hard pill to swallow a little bit. Like, what are you doing? You're trying to sell like thrift clothing, and you haven't even figured out how to sell books yet. So that
Will
was
you
like a
revisit
little,
that?
yeah, that was a little shot to the ego, but it was a learning experience for sure.
So what advice would you give if you give to those people that may want to do 10 things? Like how may they narrow it down exactly, or like what would your advice be?
To pick the one that brings them the most joy, to pick the one that comes easiest to them, to pick the one that they've been thinking about since they were a child.